Hello students, this is Cybersecurity Training for Beginners by MindMajix. Your trainer is Soumya. This course is for someone who wants to get into cybersecurity, to make a career in it, or to be a researcher in cybersecurity. All the presentations and all the resources that would be used here, for example, any software or any tool that we'll use, will be provided to you in the resources section. Go through it, review it once, and give a feedback in order we could improve it. All the course curriculum is also included in the resources section. Kindly fetch it from there, go through it once so that you should know what you are going to learn in the upcoming lectures. In the very first two lectures, we will be going through cybersecurity fundamentals, out of which half we will cover in this. The topics that we will cover in this lecture is introduction to cybersecurity and difference between information security and cybersecurity. To make it a two-way communication, I would recommend you to the to use the forum option as much as possible. Post your questions there. We'll try to answer it as soon as possible. In order, if you don't want to post in forums, you can reach me on my social media platforms. I am there by the same name, Soumya. You can enumerate me anywhere. So the topics are introduction to cybersecurity and difference between information security and cybersecurity. We'll go by subtopics. The first subtopic is evolution of cybersecurity. There are a lot of assumptions that cybersecurity was developed from here or there, but the most appropriate one was ARPANET. Actually, a researcher named Bob Thomas created a computer program that was able to travel from one device to another through ARPANET network. It used to leave a trail behind it. So what Bob decided was this is something that could make a record of what is being sent from one place to another. In that case, the cybersecurity was developed. ARPANET here stands for the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, as written on the screen itself. Later on, Fred Ramirez was considered as father of cybersecurity because he was the founder of AFCERT, Air Force Computer Emergency Response Team, and CyberNet Force, which was used to help his own company itself, and later on, it was used to save or secure the country. The second subtopic is cybersecurity and situational awareness. What is situational awareness? It could be considered as something within a volume of time and space. It is the perception of an enterprise security posture and its threat environment. The threat environment here refers to all the vulnerabilities that can be exploited by someone to cause harm to an organization, and security postures refers here to the all the security mechanisms that can be used to prevent those vulnerability from being exploited by someone. So the comprehension of both taken together is risk. Like if I put some mechanism to secure a vulnerability, what would be its cost? And if I don't put it there and it is exploited by someone, then what is the outcome of that? And projecting it into the near future, like what could be the possible losses or gains that organization is going to have? Not even just for organization, it is for also individuals. Now, considering the cybersecurity situational awareness, what is cybersecurity situational awareness? For example, a security employee is, for example, an employee is called to be aware of cybersecurity when he knows what are the cyber threats and what are their potential impact in case of cyber attack, and what is cyber crime and how to prevent it from happening, or if it has taken place, how to fight back against it. What I mean here is, as you might have read in newspapers, the cybersecurity is the much needed domain in the current scenario because the cybercrime has went by 600% upward. Definitely, there is lack of cybersecurity skill gap that we'll be considering a few moments later. Cyber attack could be anything from cyber bully to cyber trolling, from ransomware attack to just a physical theft of devices. So, as I talked about cybersecurity skill gaps, yes, according to organizations, security professionals, there is lack of 69% to 74%, on an average 70% skill gap, and it shows a lack of improvement in cybersecurity professionals. The question here that should come into our mind is: are there really not enough qualified people to fill the cybersecurity skill gaps? Actually, the answer is no. There are qualified peoples, but they don't have desired certificates and experience and skills. Actually, what happens is, whenever you'll see someone to like getting a job in cybersecurity, there is always a requirement of some experience, like 2 year experience, 3 year experience, or more than that. No one is ready to take interns or a fresher in their organization as a cybersecurity expert or a cybersecurity associate. This is because people think that a new people, someone new coming to our organization may or may not be good for our organization. He could like cause internal damages to our own organization. So these are the things. Coming to certifications, experience, and skills. Yes, you will require quite a hands off certificates. For example, you will need a CEH if you want to work in India. But if you want to work on a good level, you will need some certifications like OSCP, OWSP. OSCP has been diluted by the offensive security. We will cover all the certifications and experience skills in the later upcoming lectures. Before starting with categorization of digital assets, first of all, I'll like talk on the topic that was mentioned here. What is information security and cyber security? See, information security refers to securing of your data. It could be anywhere, data at travel, data at motion, data at rest. It could be anywhere. For example, if you have your data in your hard disk, securing it refers to information security. If you have data on your drive, securing it refers to information security. But cyber security comes into an action when the data is available on the internet itself and it is in the cyberspace. That time, securing anything is known as cybersecurity. It could be securing a website, it could be securing a web app, it could be securing any software that works online, it could be securing even the data which is available online in motion or at rest. Somewhere we can call that information security and cybersecurity overlaps each other, but not in every case. Now, coming back to the topic categorization of digital assets. I've mentioned a few of these steps that can be used to enumerate what is company's asset and what is individual assets. Company asset could be like their website, including their domain name and all content of the website, customer information and client list that they have regarding their working, business processes like spreadsheets that are being made and manuals, photos, visuals of that company, logos, applications that they have created, intellectual properties like their trademarks, their patents, their copyrights, anything. But when we come to the individual assets, very like concerning thing that comes in our mind is social media accounts of an individual with all the posts. Nowadays, we are not afraid to post anything on the internet. To be a social icon, we post each and everything. But trust me, this is somewhere a very big problem that would pop up in your near future. And I'm sure as covering in the later lectures, I'll cover these things very well so that you'll understand that you should not post each and everything on your social media. You should be focusing and you should be differentiating what should be posted and what should not be posted. What I prefer is never post any of the photograph that could include your personal information. It could be anything like what is your actual residence or what is your phone number, everything. Next is e-bills and e-papers, images. Here it could be like your electricity bill payment receipt, or it could be like some research paper that you are writing and you have put it on the what we say screenshots of it on the social media. Someone can copy it. If you're going to have some patent or trademark before that you posted it on the social media, it could be stealed by someone. Be sure to keep it quite like private and don't share it before like you get it copyrighted or trademarked. Next, how to protect these digital assets. First of all, the most important thing is enlist all your digital assets. For example, your social media accounts, your e-papers, your bills, everything like your photographs, your videos, everything and anything that you have in a digital format. You should keep it secure and enlist it. Even your driving license and Aadhaar card in India. Stay updated and secure your company Wi-Fi. It's not just for company; it's about your home too. For example, you are using an insecure Wi-Fi mechanism, so someone nearby could like if you are using WPS, for example, someone nearby could easily break into WPS and get access to your Wi-Fi. And getting access to your Wi-Fi means getting access to your devices. Inform about these things in later courses. There are attacks like RP spoofing and packet modification and malicious packet transmission, which can be used to gain access over the devices. and keep your devices updated because there are like daily new and new updates coming on because of that 0 days. 0 days is nothing but a security issue that is available on a certain product on each and every device having that product. So keep patching things, stay up to date. The third thing is limit access and educate. Limit access here refers to like don't give complete access to anyone. Give access to the certain things that you allow your own self to give them. For example, you won't allow your DL to be accessed by anyone. You would allow it just for you or maybe your family. So limit it as it is. Don't allow it like anyone can access it. Educate your family and friends that yes, you should limit the access to your social media accounts. Keep it private. You are not a celebrity. If you are a celebrity itself, don't post your private photographs there. Try not to put any explicit content of yours on the internet. So these are the things that you should educate your like nearbys to. Using a secure authentication here refers to a 2FA also. 2FA stands for two-factor authentication. For example, you have seen that after putting username and password, you will get an OTP on your phone, and then when you put your OTP there, you will be authenticated to your account and you could use it. The last thing that is considered cyber insurance. In some of the cases, the risk is so high that you cannot mitigate it completely. In that case, you should go for cyber insurance. You should get it insured. If someone exploits it, you will be paid for it, and you will be like provided with all the loss that you have like had encountered during this cyber attack or this cyber exploitation, and the company that you have taken insurance from will be like the one to take all the blame. That's it for this lecture. We'll continue with a few more topics in the upcoming lecture. We will like appreciate all the feedbacks that you will give to us for any improvement in delivering qualitative trainings further. As I told you in the start, to make it a two-way authentication and sorry, to make it a two-way conversation and like to make it easy for you to learn and ask questions, we have created a forum for you. You can reach us from there. You can post your questions. You can reach me on this ID on the Instagram. What I'll recommend is ask the question later to me on Instagram after you like post it on the forum. If there is something you can't post on the forum, then surely come to the Instagram. Hello everyone and welcome back to the cybersecurity training by MindMajix. In the first lecture, we left on the topic cybersecurity fundamentals. In this lecture, we will continue with the cybersecurity fundamentals part 2. But before that, I would like to deliver the content that what we will be covering in the entire course. The course curriculum accounts for the cybersecurity fundamentals, cybersecurity concepts, security architecture principles, security of network, system, application, and data, incident response, security implication and adoption of evolving technology, and finally, we will be giving you 3 projects that will also help you to do hands-on. So today's agenda is to cover cybersecurity roles in the fundamentals part 2. We will go through governance, risk management, and compliance. What does cybersecurity professional do, and other things that have been mentioned as subtopic. We'll cover each and every subtopic in detail. The very first thing that comes is governance, risk management, and compliance. We already discussed about risk in the first tutorial. I'll just uh, revise it for you. Risk is something when a vulnerability is exploited by someone, it causes an organization somewhat loss. That particular loss can be categorized as risk. Now we'll go through the governance first. The system by which entities are directed and controlled. It is concerned with the structure and process for decision making, accountability, control, and behavior at the top of an entity. What it actually means is, in just simple words, there is a set of rules and norms that you have to follow under someone or something. Someone could be any higher official, something could be like any rule book. Then comes risk management. It is a process of identifying, assessing, and controlling threats to an organization's capital and earning. We are completely talking about organization based because we know that cybersecurity is something that is required for the organizational purpose more than an individual purpose. And you being here, you wanted to be a part of IT industry as a cybersecurity professional. So these threats or risks could stem like wide variety of sources, including financial uncertainty, legal liabilities, strategic management errors, and accidents, also involving the natural disasters. So risk could be from anywhere, and managing this risk, as we discussed, like we can take insurance of those risks. We can try to mitigate those risks. Mitigation by multiple actions. For example, I put the mechanism of intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, IDS and IPS, that could help me reduce the risk to my organization. So these are the ways to manage the risk. Later on, coming to the compliance, actually following these rules, in short, adhering to a rule such as policy, standard, or specification, or some laws. Regulatory compliance defines the goals of companies that they want to achieve to ensure that they understand and take the necessary steps to comply with the policies, relevant laws, and regulations. Actually, the governance is made on the basis of compliance itself. There is a set of rules and norms that is written in compliance, that how an organization is going to work, what they have to do, and what they have to follow. All these things are considered as a compliance to work according to them. Now, coming to the topic, what actually cybersecurity professionals do. They are actually responsible for securing information systems of an organization. They determine the access point, purposes, processes, and people to the information, and then coordinate and implement information security policies. What I actually mean is you have to do each and everything being a cybersecurity professional, from the work of paperworks, audit works, or to hands-on penetration testing and other things, exploitations. What is the relevance of board of directors here? The relevance of board of directors here is there is a guy who is termed as CTO, Chief Technical Officer. There are some other posts also that are given in board of directors like CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, and CISSP. So these are the roles of like some higher authorities of C-suite, which are part of board of directors too. They are responsible for the budget sanction for the cybersecurity in that particular financial year, and they are also responsible for like any of the mishappening that occur in cybersecurity or any technological part to an organization. Now, coming to the point, what is executive management here? So, to align all this security with organization's specific business goals, every organization has their specific business goals. For example, if I am running a business of cycles, it's just cycles. I have to deliver it to like whole world. I'm taking online orders from everyone and I have to like send them the cycles. Let us suppose there is a flaw in my website. While ordering one cycle, the person who is ordering, he can manipulate it and change it to two in the same price. It's just a case that happens in the real. I'll go through these things in upcoming lectures, and I'm sure I'll teach you how to do these things, but they are only for educational purposes. Don't do any kind of mistakes. Like, do not try this with like real websites. If they will catch you, there are some set of rules, laws that are like followed if you do some any kind of illegal or mischievous activity on the internet. So these executive management is like rather than focusing on technology, they don't focus on technology. They will focus more on needs and objectives of like cybersecurity priorities that a company should have. Next, what does cybersecurity professionals do? Okay, so there are some roles that we need to discuss. The first role is cybersecurity analyst. They are the one responsible for analyzing the cybersecurity mechanisms that have been designed already. They do not design, they just analyze. Are like if there are some security mechanisms already implemented, are they worth it? Or we have like we are having extra security measures, or we are lacking some security measures and controls. Next is security engineer. They are responsible for creation of cybersecurity mechanisms. They are responsible for drawing security controls. They are responsible for creating all the, like for example, I'm using a Cisco router. So this Cisco router configuration, These are the things that are to be maintained by cybersecurity engineer. Administrator, the security administrator is responsible for the entire security team. They are the one who will have the access to each and everything from like top level and to the bottom level. They'll have granular view to each and every domain of security. They will be the one who will be responsible for um, any mishappening. The first one who would be caught and asked why this happened, what are the faults, what is the mistake that have been done. Then security administrator will have to take the stand for the team, and security administrator is someone who is given all the rights and privileges. Then comes security architect. See, it's overlapping with engineer, but they are quite different. What architect does is he designs. What engineer does is they put some functioning, they put some programming in it, like what they have to do, the purpose. But architect doesn't create a purpose, it just creates a base model or a base form. They don't have to program anything, they don't have to like define that this has to do only this work. They will say, yeah, you have to put this Cisco router here as per your requirement, but they won't configure it for you. It's security engineer that will have to configure it according to the business needs. Then comes security specialist. These are the people who are like in every field, they're good in every domain of cybersecurity. You can go to them and ask, sir, I have this problem, can you please put some extra effort on it, can you please help us to gain something better in it. So these are cybersecurity specialist. Then comes security consultant. What actually security consultant does is, for example, I have let us just consider a consultant. What he does, if someone is going through some problem, he goes to a consultant and asks, sir, can you guide me with this. The same thing is with cybersecurity. When you are like having some problem that you don't know how to solve or how to cope up with, then you need to consult with these professionals and they'll guide you how to do that. There are some rules not mentioned in the above, so I'll just go through them once. Cryptographer is a role that like someone is designing cryptographic schemes or mechanism for a company. Cryptography is the art of concealing or the art of hiding a data or to like secure the data. In short, you can understand right now. I'll later on explain you what is cryptography, then you will yourself understand what is cryptography. Intrusion detection specialist is someone who implements these intrusion detection systems. What he does is he has to implement it in such a way that any kind of intrusion is someone trying to intrude in the system, any kind of intrusion is detected by this mechanism that he has implemented. Then comes security, incident responder, and different things. One thing that I would like to mention is cybersecurity trainer. So what does these trainers do? Like me, I'm also a cybersecurity trainer. What we actually do, our role is to train others in such a manner that they could also stand up and choose their career path in cybersecurity. Yeah, we do also have a good role in cybersecurity. Coming to the next and most important part, what is senior information security management and what is cybersecurity practitioners? See, senior information security management is something who are responsible for the top order of the cybersecurity implementation or a security implementation. For example, it doesn't matter whether the data is at cyber place or it is at a rest place or it is at an isolated system. They are responsible for their physical as well as digital management. They have to make sure that neither the natural calamities or any physical theft could harm those devices, nor the any cyber security attacks could harm those devices or data. Coming to the cybersecurity practitioners, yeah, there are a lot of cybersecurity practitioners which works as a freelancer. We know a few of them like John Hammond. So what they do is Jason Headaches and others. They do is bug bounty hunting. Some websites enlist themselves in platforms like HackerOne and BugCrowd. So they offer responsible disclosure program. In this, these cybersecurity practitioners are ought to find vulnerabilities and submit it. If they are worth it, they would be paid as per their security severity. I would definitely recommend you to be a cybersecurity practitioner first, then choosing on any other part. At least for 2 to 3 months, you should be a cybersecurity practitioner. And anyone who enters in the cybersecurity definitely becomes a cybersecurity practitioner from the very first day. You yourself are a cybersecurity practitioner. We'll continue onwards with fundamental part 3. The very first thing that we'll cover here is ethical hacking. In its subtopics, we will discover what is types of hackers, ethical hacking phases, hands-on demonstration on these four tools like ReconNG, Maltego, Sublister, DNS interrogation. Without wasting much of our time, we'll just pop up on what is ethical hacking. So, friends, just understand it like I have to go to someone's office, and if someone is allowing me just to enter till its meeting area, can I access their like conference room? No, not. If I am not having the permission, I cannot access it. The same way is ethical hacking. In ethical hacking, you can access or exploit some parts of like of an organization or the assets of an organization to the extent you have been given permission to. Also, the very important part here is you do with like a good intention, not with a malicious intentions. Now, coming on the topic, what are the types of hackers? See, we often hear about three things: white, black, and gray. White hat hacker, black hat hacker, gray hat hackers. Who are they? What they do? In very short and summarized manner, you can understand it like white is someone who is given all the permissions and resources to access to the machine or to the asset or to the organization to exploit it and make POC of it and to help the research and development team to patch it. So white attacker are like with good intentions. They don't have any malicious intentions, and they do it for ethical purpose only. They are the proper ethical hackers. Then comes black hat hackers. What they are and what they do. See, we often hear about news like there is a ransomware attack in an organization. There is like defacement of a website of an organization. It leads to defame of that particular organizations. Like their market value also falls down. So, who are these black attackers? They are given no permissions, they are provided with no internal informations, yet they are able to attack onto a website and to gain the access to that website or to that organization or the asset of that organization. What they actually do is they are intended to show that they want some reform or they are or to take revenge or they are like doing it only for malicious intentions to defame a particular organization. So these are the purpose of black hat hackers. But when it comes something that it comes in middle of white and black, like I have been given some permissions, I'm working in the organization, but I found that there is something that can be exploited by outsiders, but I'm not given the permission to exploit that. Yet I'll do exploit it and make POC of it and submit to the organization's research and development team and help them to patch it. So these for this the activity I just mentioned, this falls into a gray hat hackers activity. Actually, gray hat hackers have halfway permission and halfway they don't have the permission. They have been provided with the basic informations which they use to exploit to the higher extent. The very important thing here to note is grey hat hackers do not have any malicious intentions. Now, sometimes we hear about these three topics: green hat hackers, script kiddies, and red hat hackers. Who are they and what they actually do? First of all, congratulations. Right now, you all are green hat hackers. Why? Anyone who has just entered the ethical hacking field and has very little knowledge of it, he or she may be a part of a huge cyber attack or maybe a very like part of a very negligible cyber attack. Okay, so these things fall into green attackers. For example, um, you you are ought to like work for an organization. Right now, you don't know much about ethical hacking field, and if you do any kind of activity that causes organization some like any or some changes or do not cause any change, so you are falling into green hat hacking activities. Who are script kiddies? Script kiddies are those who actually try to run all the pre-made tools like LazyMarks and others just to run those scripts and try to gain access over a particular website or to harm them. They are just teenagers or maybe someone who is new to this field very much and is highly influenced by ethical hacking or hacking things. They just want to be a pop star or rock star in their categories, in their group of friends. They just try to be like, oh, I'm a cool dude. So these are the script kiddies. Now, like scripts are like running a script and pressing one two one two one two, and this is just like a kid thing. So that is why we call them script kiddies. Now, most important part comes is Red Hat. Who are they? To be truly speaking, they are the visionaries of the upcoming cybersecurity era. Why? Because Red Hat hackers are those who try to hack Linux machines. They are the one who revert hack the Black Hat hackers. Here I means is what I mean is, for an example, there is an organization A which is being exploited by a Black Hat hacker B. What this Red Hat hacker will do, he'll try to hack the B one, the Black Hat hacker, and exploit them, and just to make sure they are caught and they have been fined or imprisoned. These are the activities by Red Hat hackers. Now, coming on the next topic, what are the phases of ethical hacking? There are five major phases of ethical hacking: reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, and clearing track. The most important one is the last one and the first one, reconnaissance and clearing track. Why I mentioned reconnaissance as one of the most important part? Because it is a phase in which you define and determine what are the attack vectors, what are the attack surface, threat surface of a particular organization or the asset of organization which you're going to make ethical hacking on. For example, if I have to make like VAPT here stands for vulnerability assessment and penetration testing on a particular website of Facebook. What I'll do is I'll just go through finding all the subdomains of facebook.com. I'll find all its name servers records. I'll find all the domain records, DNS records, and then last phase, clearing track. I mentioned it also very important. Let us suppose I have access to the computer. I can maintain my access, but there is one big issue in it. If I got caught after leaving that machine access, so securing yourself is the most important part in ethical hacking. Clearing track stands in your path. Unless and until you clear your path or track that you went to a system, you attacked the system, you made changes, and you left, there comes clearing track. If you don't do, you are caught. So clearing track is also among the most important part of the ethical hacking phases. Now coming on the scanning phase, after reconnaissance, you got the subdomains, and let us suppose you found a vulnerable subdomain. Now what? What will you do? See, you got nothing to do here just by knowing that subdomain is vulnerable. In scanning phase, what we do is we scan that particular subdomain IP, and we try to find out if there is any kind of vulnerability available, if there is any ports open. Ports are something you can consider as an entry and exit point of a particular device or a network. We'll come on these topics in a later on course, like lectures, when we'll getting hands-on to the tools and this phases. Next phase is gaining access. You have all the information about a subdomain, its vulnerability, its ports. Now you have to attack on that website and gain access to that network or device. This is the phase called as gaining access phase. Sometimes being in the same network, we try to use Metasploit, which is the one of the most powerful tool when you are in the same network. Then comes maintaining access. See, you are into a system. Maybe that system could reboot at any moment of time. So you have to migrate yourself to a process which keeps on running itself and reinvokes itself again and again. If you have migrated to that particular process, you can maintain your access. For example, I have breached a system by some Apache vulnerability. Now Apache won't restart again and again if it's shut down, but let us suppose it is a Windows device, and I switch it to Windows login.exe service. What will happen whenever a system restarts or it goes into a lock mode or we unlock it again? or it wants to hibernate mode and we unhibernate it, what it does is it will revoke the winlogon.exe service just to make sure that the user who is trying to access is the same. So again and again you will get the access to the device. This is called maintaining access. Clearing track I already discussed. Now next is hands-on demo. What you can expect in the upcoming lectures. The very next lecture would be about how to spin up Kali Linux as a virtual machine in VirtualBox and VMware. After that, we'll go through the ReconNG tool for domain information gathering, then Multicore tool for the domain information gathering itself again. Then we'll go on how to enumerate subdomains through sublister and also the manual method. We'll see about DNS map and DNS interrogation tools. Thank you for this lecture and hope you have a good time ahead and hope to see you in the next lecture. Thank you.